built tough. Oh my goodness, I am addicted to this earworm. That is the finale from the Cher Show. And I saw it 2 weeks ago, and it has been stuck in my head, and I've literally listened to it on repeat for 2 weeks. And there was a line in it that I could not make out, and I could not find anywhere online. And those of you that know me know that I can obsess about things like that. And I went hunting to find out what that lyric was, and I couldn't place it because, you know, it's supposed to be from a Cher song. I couldn't place it. I went to a Cher forum. That's how desperate I was. I don't do forums. And I finally just asked the question, and I had 3 or 4 people be like, we don't know either. And then one person said it's an altered line from Save Up All Your Tears. And then I went back and I looked at the lyrics for Save Up All Your Tears, and sure enough, it's deeper, the knife turns, the heart aches like mine. Anyway, stupid, but earworm. Hi, it's time for my mental health vlog. Music is definitely something that I do to zone out and to connect and to feel. Music is kind of part of my self-care all around. You will always see me humming or singing, or I don't like stale air. I will always have music playing in the background if I'm not on a call or at work or something. If I've got my machines running, I'll have my headphones in. Music has always been so critical to my existence. I know that sounds kind of silly, but it's something that I connect with very heavily, and it gets me through a lot, you know? When I went through my, initial separation, I turned to karaoke as a way to not be so alone and sad. That, and I love to perform anyway. So anyway, yes, music is absolutely part of my self-care. Sitting in the office today working on patch orders, got a bunch of custom orders, which clearly I've ended up on some forum for patches. So I'm very, very grateful that has been so busy. I've got one lady that's, I think I'm doing 10 different custom patches for her right now. It's crazy. But I am loving it. And I'm also taking this opportunity to upgrade some of my older designs, which never really looked as good as I wanted them to, but I thought they were as good as they could be with the software and the machinery that I had. But I've learned so much new stuff recently going through, books and tutorials and whatnot, that I'm really taking this opportunity to upgrade some of my older designs that don't sell, but I think they're really cool. So I think they might have a better chance of selling now. It's very clear I love what I do when it comes to embroidery and making patches, especially for those people that get super excited because they just couldn't find what they're looking for, and I can make it for them. And that is my favorite part of my FD Designs, my Froggy Dolls embroidery business. Not to mention I've got like 600 patches online, but it's the ones that people can't find anywhere else that I really love. Aside from that, I've also been working a lot on getting ready for our Pride for my other business, Burly Bottom Designs. And I will tell you, I'm scared. I'm scared for it to be, I'm excited, but I'm scared. I'm scared for it to be, I feel like Pride is going to tell me everything I need to know. I believe in this business. I believe in the brand, and I believe in what I'm doing. But I believe Pride will tell me everything I need to know. If I cannot sell my stuff at Pride, I'm not sure there's a market out there for it. So I'm really trying not to go into it with like a negative mindset, because I really do feel like there is a market for it. Must be, because there's a lot of competition popping up as well. There's another novelty LGBT, gay man t-shirt line, and it's different than mine, a different point of view, different perspective, different products, different style, and that's awesome. And I love that Houston has so much art and talent and representation of the LGBTQ community. I love that. So I don't really see it as a competitor, where I probably should, but I don't see it as a competitor. But they're selling something different. But there's a market share, factor there that I'm concerned about, especially since they appear to be able to do a lot more in-person vended events than I can. So we'll see. We're very different businesses, very different models, very different product, but unfortunately the same customer base. So thoughts and prayers. I'm very excited, but I'm very, very nervous. We're also working on some marketing items for Pride as well. We've got this fun little campaign that we're doing where we've done bracelets for Team Peach, Team Eggplant, because that's two of my more common designs, or more popular designs. And we're trying to make it like a whole marketing thing, conversation starter for Pride Month. So we've got the bracelets for that, a bunch of them. So it's just a matter of working out all the marketing logistic details. We're also looking into some marketing software to help with my online marketing and branding, which I honestly just don't have a lot of time for. Not the time that I need to dedicate to the online marketing. That's been a challenge for me, and that's something that's got to up my game. Visibility is just super important right now. Anyway, enough about my side hustles. About 2 weeks ago, I talked about my ex kind of verbally abusing me, and I have been not interacting with him for the past couple of weeks, and he got pretty pissed off that I wasn't interacting with him, and he started to say things that I was perceiving as threats or childish taunting. And I did respond to him, and I'm like, I will not respond to threats and childish taunting. And then he just kind of started saying a lot of things, and I'm like, a lot of the things he was saying were not accurate and needed some clarification or rebuttal. So I was very thoughtful about my response to him, and I broke down every point to make it as informative as possible, with trying to remove any emotion from the situation, because that was the only way we were going to get through this, is to remove any of our emotions from this. So I gave him my response last night. It was lengthy. He responded this morning, and then I responded this afternoon, and we had a little bit of a back and forth conversation. I think where we ended up is I did get an apology for the things that he said that clearly were intended to be hurtful. I did let him know that the time period to call me out over things that I did in our marriage has ended. It's been 4 years. That's not okay. I will not be emotionally or mentally abused. I think after a little bit of back and forth, we finally just said, we need to move past this. For being a co-parent, we have to move past this. We have to respect each other. We have to be there for each other. If we don't respect each other, that won't work. I think we made some progress today. I'm hopeful that we made some progress today, because we do need each other to co-parent our son successfully, with as little stress as possible, because any stress that he and I have between each other, it's gonna roll down to our son. I try really hard not to let it affect him, but he's gonna notice. Like the past 2 times I've dropped him off, I haven't gotten out of the car to chit chat like I normally do. And this past week I said, hey, I don't plan on getting out of the car when I drop you off. Can I go ahead and get my hugs now? And so I'm sure he's like, something's going on. So I don't want him to think that something's going on. Like, it's fine if he doesn't think that, Daddy and Papa are friends, because we're not. I'm not sure we will be. But we are co-parents. And this was a lesson in communication and mutual respect that we both needed to have. And we both needed to vent a few things. So he said he felt some closure, which is great, because I know that I feel that he never processed the grief and the loss of the separation. He just buried it and moved on. And that's not something that you can do. That's not healthy. So I think that this was kind of his way of finally going through that. I hope. I've done a lot of work to get past all of that and to become better from it. One of my goals is to be a better version of myself today than I was yesterday. So I'm always trying to be better. And I saw that today in how I was responding to things, where I was trying really hard to be not emotional, and just looking at facts and reactions and things like that. So it was I had told my fiance that I wasn't going to interact until I got an apology, which I knew would never happen, until I flat out said, you screwed up, I need an apology. And basically that is what happened. And he did acknowledge the fact that he said things that were hurtful, and he apologized for that because they were intended to be hurtful. So that was awesome. I hope we can move forward like this going forward, where neither one of us are insulting or being degrading or throwing up past, mistakes or performances or attitudes or whatever. Just that part of our life is just over, and we have to focus on our son, because he's going to need the attention. And there were other things that were said that were hurtful or mean, and that were intended to be hurtful or mean, because that's his MO. And I don't know if he'll change, but I did point it out. I'm like, you intend to hurt people. You intend to say things that are going to get a reaction out of people. I'm familiar enough with this behavior. So, fingers crossed that it gets better. This week has just honestly been busy, just working on orders and getting them out. I haven't left the house that much. I haven't done a whole lot. It's been very, very busy, and we're also kind of broke right now, so there's that. Going to Florida you always spend more on it when you travel than you plan to. Just, you have to. Food, whatever. Yeah. I definitely was proud of myself for setting some boundaries this week, and I need to stick to them. I did get to go to my meeting this week on Wednesday for the first time in 3 weeks, and it was so therapeutic and wonderful to see some of my family, that my group family that I haven't seen in a couple of weeks. So it was wonderful. And the topic in the meeting was the relationship with yourself in recovery. And I flat out started my share with saying I'm a fucking delight and perpetually adorable. These little things I always joke about. It's deflection, but when I say it, there's truth to it. I enjoy my own company. I enjoy being alone, and I didn't used to. I felt that if I was alone, I needed to be acting out or getting some kind of validation from somewhere, as opposed to just doing nothing. So growth is amazing to see when it rears its head, when you notice it, when you can have concrete points where it's like, wow, this is very different than it was several years ago. So still rocking the mustache. Have not decided yet if it's going to be permanent or not. It is a little bit more high maintenance because I have to shave more often. Not a fan of that. But a mustache with stubble just doesn't look great on me. So, and letting my hair grow out a little bit. There's a patch right here that's about 2 years ago. I went to get my hair cut, and the stylist went zzz, and just shaved it off because they're a little, it was like, I understand that it's not full right here, but there's hair there. And ever since then, whenever I get a haircut, they shave it, and they go, it's impossible to get straight on that line without catching a hair or two. So slowly the hairline, not on its own, has been, retreating from the attack of the razor. So I need to let it grow out so I can cut it all super short and have it be whatever length this turns out to be, just to have it grow back out. And it looks weird right now, so I'm wearing a lot of hats, but I give it about 2 weeks and I'll be able to get it cut. See, there's the baby hairs. It looks really weird. And I seriously need to color my hair again. There you go. So that's my life in a nutshell. Getting ready for Pride, trying to navigate parental discourse, making sure I'm still making time for myself and self-care, and making time for my fiance. Sunday nights are usually our intimate night, so I'm glad he and I are going to have some time together this evening, because I do feel that he's been so busy with real estate the past couple of weeks that we just haven't been able to really connect like we wanted to. But you know, it's the hustle. He's got his side gigs, I've got my side gigs, and we're just trying to keep afloat. So that's all I've got for today. I think this week I'm doing okay. Mother's Day is coming up next weekend. I have not gotten a card or a present for my mother. I was going to do that this weekend and have my son sign it, but I remembered after I took him home on Saturday that, crap, I didn't do that. So Grandma's going to get a call on FaceTime on Mother's Day. That's probably all we're going to get done this year. I picked up my mother's bad habit of procrastination and planning when it comes to gifts and cards and things like that, so I feel like I'm a little narcissistic. Sorry, subject change, random. I was talking to someone this week who went through their body changing with the Ozempic medication that they were on. And I am really struggling with some body dysmorphia. I know that sounds kind of stupid, and I confirmed, like, is that the right word? Because I'm so not used to my body. I'm not used to having a waistline. I'm not used to not having a gut. I'm not used to not jiggling in certain places. And they're not necessarily things that I just had to deal with when I was heavy. I mean, those are things I've literally dealt with my entire life. And they're different now. My face is different. My chest is different. My stomach is different. I have more, that's always fun. You know, my butt is gone. My legs are different. You know, it's everything is shifting. Everything is changing. And it's an adjustment that I wasn't prepared for. So I still think of myself as chubby or you know, heavy, and the reality is I'm kind of not. I tried on a t-shirt today that was a size large, and it fit the same way that the extra large used to when I first started like Burley Bottoms design, because it was a Burley Bottom shirt. I tried on one of my fiance's shirts just to see how it fit. I would totally wear that out the way it fit. It was tight, but it was not unflattering. That's something else that's weird, is wearing something tight that's not unflattering is also something I'm getting used to. I left the house yesterday in a shirt I never would have left the house in before. Just a tank top, but it was tight, but it looked good, and I felt good. So little by little, I'm coming around to this new body. I just don't know when it's going to stop shrinking. But yes, statistically, guys, for every 30 pounds you lose, you gain an inch. I can validate that. Food for thought. You're welcome. Okay. I'm going to let y'all go. I will talk to y'all next Sunday. Be good to yourselves. Be kind to yourself. Try not to stress out too much. Try not to get overwhelmed with life in general. So easy to say. Check on your friends. Make sure they're doing okay. I have a lot of friends I haven't spoken with in a long time. And that was I was reminded of that today. People that were always there, that were very close with, and just drifted apart. And I hate that, especially when they're in the same city I am. So I need to reach out to people more, be a little less self-involved and narcissistic. Check on your family, make sure they're doing okay. It was so good seeing my family last week. I don't ever want to move to Florida because, you know, there's a lot of things in Florida I don't like. But I do love the fact that I'm able to see my family and spend some time with them. Not as often as I like, but that was really wonderful to just sit and laugh and have such a good time. Last year I wasn't sure I was going to have my sister around. And now she's around, just as annoying as ever. I'm very grateful for that. I've rambled on long enough. Take care of yourself as well. Check on yourself. What do you need? Make sure you're giving yourself care. I'm a big proponent of self-care. And music is self-care.